Yo, Henry, the average use Slo-Pitch. Today we're getting a chance to bring out the all-new DeMarini Lady Cartel. This is an APC barrel, 13.5-inch barrel, mid-loaded. This is the only DeMarini, at least with the new line, I don't know what's coming out later, that has the alloy handle, the rest of the stiff composite. I know last year's was really good, even with this handle. We're gonna see how this one performs. Today we've got a 27 ounce. Gonna go ahead and swing the 52s first, followed by Pro M's. Currently out at this field. This is a new one they just built. We're gonna get a measuring wheel at some point to confirm this, but we've used both Onyx, our hunting maps, and both Google Maps, Google Earth. And this field measures right out to 370 all the way around. I know it's a baseball field, but it seems a little weird they built 370 everywhere. But either way, give you an idea of kind of the travel on the ball, understanding how big the field is. Obviously we'll have the radar running, but I went ahead, tested this over at the house first, just because I wasn't sure how the wind was gonna hold up for us. And then all of a sudden it pretty much died. We've got none out here at this point, as you can hopefully see with the dirt. I mean, it's barely moving there a little bit. So 52s followed by Pro and 44 375s. I'll get it back to the house, test it, final compression, final thoughts. All right, let's see where the new Lady Cartel test at. Still has the alloy handle. I think it is the only DeMarini in this, at least this first drop. I'm not sure what else they're dropping later in the year, but it has the alloy handle still. Last year's Lady Cartel was absolute gas, so real excited for this one. But for us here, we're starting at about 270, maybe 265. So either way, plenty of room to go with our 52s, Pro M's, then we'll come back with final compression, final thoughts. All right, let's see where the 27 ounce Lady Cartel scales at. And it's coming in at 26.70, so about 0.3, or not about, it's 0.3 under kind of sticker weight. So just something to keep in mind. If you like a heavier feel, even with it being a mid-load, I would definitely go up a weight for yourself. For me, the 27 actually felt pretty good, and I'm usually an end-load fan, but just something to keep in mind, especially if you usually swing like a 25 with a big end load, you may just want to go to 26. All right, here we go. As always, starting with the 52s here on the Lady Cartel.
103 miles per hour.
You can definitely tell it is a alloy handle compared to the DeMarini stiff composites. There's not a huge difference, but you get slightly different feedback, at least last year on the models and so far. And I know that was the first swing. You can definitely feel it there, but nice stiff barrel comes off good with the 52.
82 miles per hour.
See if fast barrels carry the 52s.
94 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's what it is.
God.
87 miles per hour. 107 miles per hour.
Holy crap. Yep. I'm not a huge fan of the long barrels. I know 13.5. I don't typically game ones that long, being taller. I found that for whatever reason, I'm just inconsistent with it, kind of catch a lot of balls off the hands, but last Lady Cartel was really, really good. And based on the way this is performing 52s, there's a very good chance it's better.
84 miles per hour.
Holy cow.
That was beast. That's a good one to switch to Pro.
Definitely. So with the 52s, it was definitely a lot stiffer than I'm accustomed to. It does have a good carry off the bat. If you do square it up like you're supposed to, there's no telling the distance on it, but it does have a good response.
94 miles per hour. 94 miles per hour.
Hey guys, that's gonna do it right here for the 52s. Again, easy to control still. I've never been a fan of anything bigger than 13-inch barrels, but there's a lot of forgiveness here. Definitely harder to miss the barrel, and even on missed hits, you get good carry and good performance.
109 miles per hour.
Oh, that's their 52s. Yeah, those speeds are great on this one. Again, we've talked in the past, typically while you keep the bat's higher compression, those nice stiff barrels, and then obviously with the stiff handle, seem to perform the best with 52s. So if you're gonna use this for 52s, like exclusively, let's say you're up in Canada, up north, you have to use much softer type of balls, whether it's 52s or like mushy Pro M's. This seems like a really good option. Just don't break it in too much and lower that compression. Either way, let's head over to Pro M's, see what the performance is like on this before we head back. Final compression, final thoughts. All right, again, we're on to Pro M's now. This field looks different because it is. We were at the field right over there, had some issues with the reservation lights, things like that. So whatever. We're over here now. It's about 68 degrees. Bats, balls, everything was indoors all day like we always do. Plus 68 ain't really that cold. So either way, Pro M's, Razzos, ZNs, Super Dupers, all 44 375, USSSA stamp balls. See how this thing performs, get it back to the garage, final compression, final thoughts.
106 miles per hour.
Well, that was pretty good. To the street, you can hear it. It hit that street so hard.
$92 miles per hour.
Knuckling.
100 miles per hour.
Over the lights. Listen, Chef called me the other day, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out Big Chef Softball, his channel. Good friend, but he told me that of all these bats, the Cartel was filthy, and in his mind, I think he even said probably the best of the line. I didn't really believe him. I've never been a huge fan of the longer barrels, 13.5, but through a couple swings here, he might just be right.
89 miles per hour. 115 miles per hour.
Woo!
$84 miles per hour.
That's some forgiveness.
115 miles per hour.
Oh, this bat's gas.
87 miles per hour.
If I can hit it out like I did, coming out of the wrapper with Pro-Ams, come on. And you're hitting 115, one sitters to the fence, not even one hitters.
85 miles per hour.
And there's the alloy handle. Oh,
92 miles per hour. 106 miles per hour. $78 miles per hour.
so for anybody that doesn't know, this handle is not forgiving at all. Anything at the taper, it will let you know real quick.
110 miles per hour. 83 miles per hour.
Okay, Lady Cartel, 13.5-inch barrel, mid-end load, alloy handle. I don't hardly ever do DeMarini. Hendo and Caesar have made me a believer in it. If you miss the sweet spot, it will let you know. It's very forgiving, but at the end, if you hit it up high, or whichever, hit it high, hit it low, it will let you know about it. The carry is wonderful on it, especially with these Pro-Ams. So, there you go.
112 miles per hour.
Woo!
107 miles per hour.
This bat is filthy. Last year's Lady Cartel was really good, don't get me wrong. I think a lot of people stayed away from it because of the alloy handle and the longer barrel, but this thing has all the forgiveness in the world and an amazing sweet spot.
113 miles per hour.
No, we're done. That's it. 113 elevated. All right. Well, Chef, I should have believed you. This bat is absolutely filthy. This is coming back out with us when we do our kind of determining the gamer piece of it. But as of now, this is definitely going into my bag right alongside my 12-inch axe, my MR1, and my Brady. But at this point, all we can do is see what the compression looks like. It's hard telling this paint, but there doesn't look to even be a ton of webbing. I mean, there's definitely some. Either way, I got no words for how well this thing has performed. All right, let's see where our 2026, yes, I know it's 2025, just the way they do their bats, Lady Cartel is testing at. It's got just over 100 swings, about 30-ish 52s, and then the remainder of the Pro-Ams that we used out there. And on zero, and we're sitting at 245, 240, just a little past the line there. Let's go ahead and just quarter turn this real quick just to check. And then I will throw the calibration disc on just since we're kind of right there and make sure we are good to go as far as that goes. But there's our quarter turn. There's our zero. Getting dropped back down a little bit. There we go. and this side's dead on 240. So with that being said, either way, it is still passing. We have talked about this before. First, let me show you this for those that don't know, 350 plus or minus 25. But the APC tech, for anyone that's not familiar with it, maybe they're used to older DeMarinis, the not alive barrels, those are meant for a bunch of BP, tons of swings. The newer APCs, and especially what we've seen with this year, these things are meant for very, very little break-in. They're pretty much game ready. So these are not bats that you're going to buy and want to go BP a whole bunch. So just kind of keep that in mind. But we're sitting at 365, 370, either way within calibration. And obviously it's calibrated high either way. So, you know, there's been discussions about that on like Evan Hardy's Uncensored page, things like that, about how that whole thing works. But either way, we're within compression. So we'll talk about how that affects the Lady Cartel and the final thoughts. All right, and that's going to wrap it up for the Lady Cartel. Obviously, now we're on our third location of the video. This is the second reservation in a row where we've tried to get this one swung, that we've had the lights turn off super early. Not really sure why we're paying for reservations. That's going to keep happening, but whatever, I digress there. But either way, got this thing knocked out. Obviously, as you saw there, it was last Thursday night that we were able to get the 52s on there. This past Tuesday night, we were able to get the Pro M's on there. And then this is next day, waited, went ahead, did the test, since we were gone from the field anyways, gave it about 24 hours to sit. And then now here we are with the final thoughts piece. But as you saw with the video, and I knew from talking to Big Chef going into it that there were some pretty high expectations on this one, and it still found a way to just greatly exceed it. The way it hit the 52s, I think we got like a top speed of like 109 with that, which is absolutely insane from the 52s. We've had a few of the USSSA bats, I think, get close to that. With the 52s, however, though, with this kind of APC tech where the barrel does soften up a little bit as you break it in, you do need to obviously get kind of the true sweet spot to get the feedback for the ball to come off that way. It's still pretty forgiving with the 52s, but as you saw PK mentioned in the video, with the alloy handle, you're going to know when you catch it low or high. So while it's got really good sweet spot performance, it still gives you good I guess forgiveness as far as that goes performance wise, but feedback wise, just know you're going to kind of feel that. And you will see a decent drop off in speed, but that drop off is still a very high performing speed that you're getting there. So some of you guys use 52s, mushier type balls, keep that piece in mind. And then we swapped over to the Pro M's. And honestly, we probably we definitely put too many swings on this one compared to what we would have done. So again, like I talked about, this is going into my bag. I'm going to kind of bring it out here in the near future as well, alongside my other gamers, do kind of a gamer type video figuring out, hey, how are we going to choose what I'm going to game, all that kind of stuff. But it was crazy how good the sweet spot was. Super forgiving as far as the performance wise. Yes, you get the kind of sting and whatnot from an alloy handle, but that's to be expected when you go that stiff with it. This is DeMarini's only alloy handle in this initial drop. I don't know what they're dropping later in the year, but Lady Cartel will be the only one with the alloy. The rest are that stiff composite. But with that being said, for a mid load, again, 27 ounce, I think this one, to me, it feels pretty true. As you saw kind of with the scale weight, I think it was 0.3 ounces light. So compared to the other DeMarinis we've seen here in 26, that's as close to kind of the sticker as we've seen. So it makes sense that it doesn't feel too far off. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, 0.3 ounces isn't a lot, but it is something to keep in mind if you're somebody who maybe swings at 25, but you like that heavier, like 25 1 ounce end load feel, and you're considering going to this, I'd probably go up to like that 26 ounce just so you get that heavier feel with the bat as well. But again, I mean, I forget exactly total number of swings on there, but either way, starting around 270, I think on this one, 265. When we were done, it's at like right at 245. So obviously dropped it in decent ways. But again, if this was me taking it out of the wrapper, getting ready to see if I'm going to go game it, I would have put my 20, 30, 52s on there, been like, all right, this feels great. Swapped over to some Pro M's, and by about 10 swings, I would have put this thing away anyways. And then when you game it again, we've talked about it, the BP repetitive swings is going to obviously beat up the fibers, beat up the bat, lower the compression a whole lot faster than if you just game it. So just keep that in mind if this is something you're going to decide to pick up. For those that maybe have swung DeMarini in the past, it's been a while since you've swung them. Just remember too that with the APC tech they've got out now, there is no more Nautilite tech, at least not that I'm tracking. There won't be any Nautilite techs dropped here in 2025. These are pretty darn close to game ready techs. They're not meant to be BP'd a whole bunch. They're not meant to get the DeMarini seam that Jason Magnum talked about in the video I did with him last year, things like that. So these aren't ones that you're going 200, 300, 400 BP swings. Honestly, you should be well under 100 BP swings of this one and then just game it. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you're somebody who likes to do a lot of BP, and you want one of these, consider getting kind of two and having one as a BP bat, one as a gamer. Or if somebody wants to do a lot of BP, you don't want to do that. Obviously, maybe you just need to go a different route and whatnot. But just kind of keep that piece in mind either way. Obviously, right now in the earlier months too, if it's super cold, Again, not really meant for the cold weather. Be careful with them. But either way, these are going to be available on March 5th over on headbangersports.com, code ADS. Also available over on DeMarini's website. I'm not sure of any codes that work over on DeMarini's site, but obviously if you sell at Headbangers and you need help finding one, let me know. I'll work on getting you squared away with the best price possible, fast shipping, all that kind of stuff. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop them in the comments, reach out on the social medias. AverageDudeSlowPitch.com has all the rankings. This is actually already up on there as well. You'll see a full breakdown of the rankings here a little bit later as we get caught up on reviews. But either way, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully kind of help you decide if you want to maybe go with this model or a different DeMarini model as they drop on the 5th of March, or if you just kind of want to go a different route here for 2025. But either way, thanks for supporting the channel. Have a great night.